Good morning, UUSS. Join us, rising in body or spirit, for Woyaya. We are going, heaven knows where we are going, but we know within, and we will get there. Heaven knows how we will get there, but we know we will. It will be hard, we know, and the road will be muddy and rough, but we'll get there. Heaven knows how we will get there, but we know we will. Woyaya, 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 woyaya. We are going, heaven knows where we are going, but we know it is, and we will get there. Heaven knows how we will get there, but we know we will. Woyaya, 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 woyaya.
Good morning. Welcome. Welcome on Zoom. I am Celia Buckley. You're serving as your worship associate today, and so happy to see such a nice full house. Our preacher today is Reverend Lucy Bunch, and her sermon is titled, Take the Good with the Bad. We are joined by Reverend Roger Jones and Sophia McKean, our ministerial intern. Our pianist is Irina Tchantceva, and our very talented musical director, Anthony Tavianini, will be he'll be leading You have a day in store with you. Anthony has arranged for the choir to sing a piece by Jason Shelton, whom we actually love many of his pieces. And 5 of the worship associates will be assisting with narration during that piece. And then later on, he has gathered together an ensemble to sing Apple Tree, which I know you'll enjoy quite a lot. So if you're online, you can find a copy of today's order of service on the website or through a link in the chat. How many of you have one of these? This is the blue sheet telling you everything we're going to do this week. For more information about this month, which it's almost June, go on the website. And our monthly newsletter is there. And then every Friday there is an email that comes out with a Friday message. If you are new here, we are so delighted you're here, and either both on Zoom or in person. And please fill out a newcomers form, in both locations, so we can connect with you. And if you're new, once a month on the first Friday of the month, next week anyway, whatever Sunday of the month that is. I thought I wrote it down, but it appears to have escaped my notes. But there is a newcomer orientation after church with a tour. And
next week is the exploring class.
Oh, excuse me. See, my notes would have helped. It must be on a different page that didn't print. So there's, if you're new, please attend a class led by Lucy Bunch. I believe it's in the Foz room, right after church, on exploring Unitarian Universalism. So find out more about this movement. Okay, that threw me off a little bit. So Today is a very important day in our church calendar year because it is our annual business meeting where we vote on the budget for the coming year and new positions to be elected to serve in elected positions. So please, the meeting will start 10 minutes after the service finishes. Coffee will still be out on the patio. Grab your coffee, come back in. If you're on Zoom, chat amongst yourselves, grab your own coffee, and the meeting will start on Zoom. Members on Zoom, as well as members in the church, will be counted for voting purposes, but non-members, visitors, guests, you are all welcome to attend the annual business meeting and find out about future plans. And I think the last thing I'm going to say is I just remembered to turn off my cell phone, and I hope you will too. Thank you.
Good morning. Our chalice lighter this morning is Celia, and our chalice lighting words come from Sherry Woodbury. Spark of the Spirit, cupped in earth's embrace, light of love, alive in all creation. As we kindle this flame, we rekindle our connection to the sacred web of life. Next, we will receive music for centering from our choir, and we ask that you please hold your pause afterwards so that we can let the beauty of the piece resonate in the room.
Many windows, one light, many waters, one sea, all lifted hearts are free.
In the Talmud of the Jewish tradition, the sage Hillel said, "What is hateful to you, do not do to others." This is the whole of the law. All the rest is commentary.
In the Hindu legend of the Mahabharata, the divine Krishna declared, "This is the sum of duty. Do nothing unto others which would cause you pain if done to you." It is written, it is taught, may it be so.
Many windows, one light, many waters, one sea, all lifted hearts are free.
In the Gospel of Matthew, in the Christian scriptures, the Messiah Jesus says, "Whatever you wish that others would do to you, do so to them."
In the Buddhist text of the Adana Varga, the student is urged, hurt not others in ways that you yourself would find hurtful.
It is written, it is taught, may it be so.
Of Al-Nawawi, the Prophet Muhammad teaches, no one of you is a believer until he desires for his brother that which he desires for himself.
In the Tai-Shang Treaty of Taoism, the seeker is instructed, regard your neighbor's gain as your gain, and your neighbor's loss as your loss. It is written, it is taught, may it be so.
In the ancient wisdom of Shinto, there is a saying, the heart of the person before you is a mirror. See your own form.
The Oglala Lakota spiritual leader, Black Elk, wrote, all things are our relatives. What we do to everything, we do to ourselves. It is written, it is taught, may it be so.
And now it's almost time to sing our children out to religious education. This morning we have Soul Kids for grades K through 5, Junior High Youth Group, which I will be helping out with this morning for grades 6 through 8th, and Senior High Youth Group for grades 9 through 12. Anthony, will you help us sing the kids out?
You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. I know you're scared. And I'm scared too. But here I am. Right next to you. Right next to you. You gotta put one foot in front of the other one. One foot. Lead with love. One foot in front of the other one. One foot, and lead with love.
Good morning. It's good to be with all of you here and at home. I want to give credit to the writer of the words of All Lifted Hearts, who is the Reverend Dr. Kendall Gibbons, one of our great humanist ministers, and who's been a mentor to many newer ministers in formation, including me. Next, we light our candle of compassion and resistance. In this ritual, we recognize the times in which we live, times of disruption and anxiety in this country and the world, when cruelty is on display and so many people are in danger. Our values call us to compassion and resistance. As we kindle this flame, let its light inspire us to bear witness to human decency, dignity, freedom, and the power of love. And the power of love stirs us now to open our hearts to the joys and sorrows of this community. You may let us know of your news for future services by clicking the link to the joys and sorrows in the Friday email, or you can, and then when you do that, you can let us know if you would like your news to be included in the service. We share in the joy of his family and of his, that our member Sean Fountain has recently graduated from law school. And we join with all of them in congratulating Sean on his accomplishment. A number of our members and families are traveling now or will be soon for sightseeing, pilgrimage, recreation, work, or study abroad, and reunions with dear ones. And we wish them joyful and safe travels and patience when they need it. Last week saw the passing of a former member of UUSS, T. Leslie Corbin. Les had been a board member and treasurer for our congregation in the 1990s. We extend our condolences to his family. And among us today, several people are mourning and remembering loved ones, both people and pets, who have died recently or for whom an anniversary of their passing is near. Our members Renee and Ted Scott Feminella ask for prayers for healing for their friend Oscar. He's been suffering with stage 4 bone cancer and is now on hospice care. Amanda has asked for prayers following another abdominal surgery. And we know that other loved ones among us are in recovery from surgery or dealing with chemotherapy or other treatments or medical procedures. We pray for ease and strength for you. Please join me now for a moment of centering and some words of prayer, followed by a time of silence. O Spirit of life, O light of love. We call you by many names and by no name at all. We feel you in the breath enlivening our bodies and in the feelings which fill our hearts in seasons of hardship and heartbreak, as much as in times of joy and celebration. Receive our gratitude for all the blessings of our days. Receive our thanks for this community of belonging, which calls us together for inspiration, insight, and courage. O Spirit of love, for those in our circles of care and affection, and for so many members of our human family, we pray for healing. O Spirit of care, when grief, anguish, and worry weigh down our hearts, relieve us of these burdens. Give strength to us and help us to share our strength with others. O Spirit of human kinship, in this time of danger and upheaval and uncertainty, we pray for all those in harm's way, in zones of conflict and military occupation. We ask you to revive in all of us the possibility of healing and the promise of peace. In this country, let us pray for the courage to continue defending the norms of democracy and the dignity and worth of every human being. Let us insist on the moral standard of simple human decency. May peace be in our world. Peace be among us. Peace be in our lives. And may peace be in our hearts. Amen. Now let us be settled in our bodies for a few moments of quiet and be settled in our breathing for a time of silent awareness. Blessed be, and peace.
Please sing with me. There's a river flowing in my soul. There's a river flowing in my soul, and it's telling me that I'm somebody. There's a river soul. There's a river
In my sermon this morning, I'm going to reflect on the challenge of when an artist whose work that you love, that you've taken into your heart, taken into your identity, does something terrible. That's the essence of the sermon. And I have two personal stories around that issue. So the first one is from Theo Clare, a member of our congregation, former worship associate. And they're not able to be here with us this morning, and so we're going to have Theo come to us virtually.
Good morning. My name is Theo. It's nice to join you asynchronously today. It's been a little while since I served as a worship associate at UUSS, but Reverend Lucy reached out to me to give a reflection on the topic because she remembered that, back in the day, I loved Harry Potter. Our UU congregation had a book club and trivia events, and I cleared the floor, totally obsessed. These days, honestly, I cringe to remember that about myself. You may have heard that J.K. Rowling gives kind of an unfathomable amount of money to anti-trans legislation and lawsuits designed to roll back policies that protect trans people's rights to healthcare, housing, and participation in public life. This question about what to make of things we love who were made by people who do terrible things can be a complicated one. Broadly speaking, I think we have to stop expecting perfection from each other. There's not a class of good people who are innately different from bad people. We all have the capacity to harm one another. In fact, we've all certainly committed harm at some point in our lives, directly through carelessness or ignorance, or indirectly through the consequences of our purchase and consumption habits at minimum. We live in a society where the carriage of justice is limited to policing, prisons, and the courts. These are methods of punishment, not repair. Repair requires that we look deeper, and carceral thinking that cancels bad people and moves on without them won't serve us or help our healing. Transformative justice teaches us that safety does not lie in expelling people who have done bad things from our communities and our lives, but in developing the capacity to move through conflict with compassion and in investing deeply in our own communities to mitigate the kinds of conditions that lead to violence, rupture, and harm in the first place. That said, no, I am not watching the Harry Potter remake. I'm not talking about purity politics, that it makes you a bad person if you like something made by someone who's been canceled, and so to be a good person you must only engage with art and culture made by perfect people. I'm not concerned with the karmic contamination from engaging in something made by a transphobe, and I don't really hold it against you if your bumper stickers align with your Hogwarts house, but I am concerned about the material impacts of our decisions. I really don't want anyone to pay for Harry Potter merch or books or remakes because I know that any money JKR makes off of us will go to fund literal, material harm against people like me and especially trans women. We know this. And yet, when we like something, it becomes very easy to identify with it and become entrenched. And then it's a, no, you can't take this from me. Why are we so attached? Where is that defensiveness coming from? Our principles of inherent worth and dignity invite us into more accountability, not less. Solidarity asks more of us, and solidarity invites us into a world where more is possible in turn. When I boycott Chevron or Sabra in solidarity with the people of Palestine and Lebanon, I don't lose gas or hummus from my life. I gain a whole world, rich in celebration of the interwoven fabric that connects us all.
Sin is a word, love is not a sin. People are bad, people are good. Just like the moon is a stone, but it's a star when it's dark. And now she's hiding. You've seen what a heart is. You've seen its colors. If I ever knew how it would guide it, take care of its children. Become their mother. If I ever knew how we could hide it, hide it.
Hunger is quiet if you do it right. Hunger is loud and predictable, scaring away every prey, so they are gone before the hunter arrives. Would you be kind and put away your sword? You cannot cut away what we got. You cannot kill what we are beyond our need in physical form.
You've seen where the knife is. It's dark location. If I ever knew how we could find it, I would cut into our anger. Make your emotion. If I ever knew how we could hide it, hide it. Just a boy.
Can you carry the weight of mortality? The explosions around you are your symphony. Let her
Just a boy.
Thank you. The second story I want to bring to you is from Marshall Gans. He's a professor at the Harvard Kennedy School of Government. I took a class from him about 4 years ago. He was also a close associate of Cesar Chavez. So just a couple of days after the news came out about Cesar's bad things that he'd done, Marshall Gans sent this letter to all of his students, and I felt honored to be one of the recipients. Dear friends, students, colleagues, and collaborators, last Wednesday I was confronted with a shattering reality. A person whom I had known, learned from, and worked with for many years had at the same time been inflicting devastating harm on girls and women vulnerable to his assaults. Like many of you, I was shaken by what came to light about Cesar's abusive behavior. I want to offer my own perspective, not because it settles anything, but because I live some of this history and I want to speak honestly of what I saw, what I didn't see, and what I believe we must reckon with together. I first met Cesar in 1965. I worked alongside him, learned from him, served beside him for 7 years on the union's National Executive Board, and admired him deeply for many years. The movement that thousands of us had built for a time transforms the lives of thousands of farm workers and their families. For the first time in history, a movement effectively challenged the system of exploitation rooted in California agriculture. Cesar's leadership contributed enormously to all of this, but it was never his movement. It belonged to all of us. It was real, it mattered, and it must not be erased. The truth is always more complex than the mythology. By the mid-1970s, as the union was growing rapidly, something had broken in him, and the Cesar we thought we knew became a negative of himself. Vision gave way to paranoia, courage to fear, relationships to isolation, and curiosity to suspicion. Within a few short years, much of the organization we had built was in shambles. What most of us did not know or did not see was that his abuse of women and girls had been present far earlier, enabled by a small inner circle, so that as his pathology and power grew, so would his circle of harm. After his death in 1993, a Chavez industry had emerged, marketing his image, his deeds, and his story, such that one man was portrayed as the source of everything the movement had achieved. In the end, it cheapens the movement that thousands built and allows a leader to cause immense harm without accountability. So today, over 30 years after his death, the discovery of this terrible evil in his life and the pain it caused the most vulnerable has landed with seismic force. In the last few days, people pulled books from shelves, renamed streets, and threw away 40 or 50-year-old pictures that were an honor part of family heritage. Cesar Chavez was a flawed human being of genuine and historic consequence who caused profound harm that demands accountability, care for those he hurt, and honest reckoning. Our challenge now is not to choose between the good and the harm, but to hold both unflinchingly. That is harder than telling the lives of a saint and harder than exercising them, but is the only path that honors the full truth, including the truth of everyone whose lives were changed for the better by what that movement built, and everyone whose trust, dignity, and humanity was betrayed. This is the work I hope we can do together. With love and respect, Marshall.
Generosity. It is a spiritual practice, and our congregation has a practice of giving away half of every Sunday's offering to an organization working to make a difference in the world. This month, that organization is the National Alliance on Mental Illness, NAMI, the nation's largest grassroots mental health organization. Our local NAMI is one of more than 600 affiliates working to raise awareness and provide support to those in our area affected by mental illness. Thank you for your generosity to UUSS and our community partner, and this morning's offering will now be given and received. As the ushers come forward, please join me in blessing the offering. May generosity bless our world, and may gratitude nourish our spirits.
Must be a wind chime. In college and early adulthood, I was a huge fan of Woody Allen. I loved his books, his films, his stand-up comedy. I can quote lines from many of his movies. Being his fan was part of my identity. It was helping me grow into adulthood. I really appreciated how so many of his movies reflected themes of morality, especially one of my favorites, Crimes and Misdemeanors. The movie made you reflect on choices and the results of your actions, and when should you feel guilty, and should you be punished for doing bad things. Really good, juicy stuff. So when the real Woody Allen got involved with his partner's 20-year-old daughter, Soon Yi, I was gobsmacked. He was 32 years older than her. She was barely out of her teen years. And she was the daughter of his partner, Mirfattah, with whom Allen had 2 children. Talk about crimes and misdemeanors. I was angry, disappointed, disgusted. As someone who'd been molested by an older man when I was a young teen, the creep factor was really high. Damn you, Woody Allen. Now what am I supposed to do about your movies? Can I still laugh at them? So this is the question I'm addressing this morning. Can we separate the maker from what they have made? Can we still love a work of art if the creator has done terrible things? These are not trivial questions. Is a work of art still beautiful if the maker has done something ugly and destructive? These questions really get complicated when we consider the depth of our relationship with the artist. The challenge is not about artists with which we have a casual relationship. If we don't want to look at it, listen to it, read it, we don't. What I'm talking about here are the art, the movies, the books that has found its way into our soul, that has become part of our identity. Artists whose work has changed us. Learning about their heinous acts is painful. We feel complex emotions of anger, disappointment, betrayal. You see, really, their actions are not just about them, but they're about us as well. We identify with these works. They're part of our story. It's the song played at our wedding, or the book that changed our lives, or a beloved childhood book. That piece of art that hung on our college dorm wall and inspired us. Can you think of an example in your life? I was very inspired in preparing this sermon by a book by Claire Dederer called Monsters, A Fan's Dilemma. She describes her challenge with Roman Polanski, the brilliant director of Chinatown and Rosemary's Baby, who was convicted of a heinous sex crime. Dederer wants to know if it's okay to watch his movies, which, as a film critic, she knows well and adores. She asked, must we shun someone who has done something so terrible, even if they have created a work of genius? So Dederer fantasizes about creating an app that would help us find an answer. So into the app, you would log into the app, you would enter their crime, the quality of their work. I'm imagining like a range, like how bad is their crime, how good is the quality of the work, and how important they are to you. And the app will just spit out yes or no as to whether you can continue to engage with their work. But here's the worst part. Maybe you don't want to engage with their work. Maybe their acts have shrouded the beauty of their art. Dederer uses this idea of a stain as a metaphor for how their actions have changed their work. The work is stained by what they have done. You can't unsee the stain. You can't wash it out. You can put it out of your mind, but it's still there. It even seeps backwards, that stain. Can we listen to Jackson 5 without thinking about Michael Jackson's adult behavior? Is something still beautiful, even if it has a stain on it? Now, of course, this idea of an app is a fantasy, but it does provide an algorithm for how we approach this problem. Our ability to continue to engage with their work is a function of how amazing it is, how much genius is expressed, how much it means to us, balanced by how heinous was their crime. And it's personal. It's different for each person. Psychologists have identified some moral foundations that can help us navigate our complex world. Foundations that are actually part of our DNA. And the moral foundation relevant to our question this morning is called sanctity. It involved from the early humans' need to avoid pathogens and parasites, especially those that we can spread by close proximity. The sanctity foundation is why we are disgusted by rats and roaches. It's inherent in who we are as human. But in modern life, we like to apply the sanctity foundation to the cultural and the political. And because we love a good binary, we put things on the continuum. So things are either sacred or they're defiled. This means that when we learn of some terrible act from an artist, their work can shift from the sacred side of the binary, beloved to you, genius to you, over to the defiled side. We loved Bill Cosby's gruff Cliff Huxtable character on The Cosby Show. He was right over here. But now you know of the crimes that he committed, and you can't even look at that show anymore. Defiled. However, this sanctity function differs among people, and it's strongly genetically determined. This is where we need to recognize that we may respond differently to the crimes of artists we hold dear, differently than others do. Those with a strong sanctity foundation, for them that stain is likely too powerful. They simply can't go there. Others are able to separate out the action from the art. Where do you fall on that continuum? I really want to stress here that this choice of how you respond, how you answer this question, is a deeply personal choice. Countering to that is what you probably heard of, and Theo mentioned in their reflection, cancel culture, where in social media we condemn someone and all their works because of something they've done and determine to be unacceptable. We cancel them. I call cancel culture the 21st century version of pitchforks and torches, where the mob goes after someone seeking justice and retribution. And the more meaningful the art, the more strident the fans, the more vicious the canceling. This apparently is how we do things these days. A related idea is purity culture, that people we hold in esteem must be perfect, must not have any stains. There's some of this purity culture present in UU spheres. There's a UU minister who wrote some of our most beloved hymns and transgressed by having sexual relations with a congregant. He has repented, worked to restore trust, and stepped away from the ministry. And yet there are some among the UUs who will not use his music in services. He is canceled. For them, the stain of his actions negates the beauty of his music, and for them, his work cannot be redeemed. From the sacred to the defiled. Now, you may agree with this, or you may find it harsh, but really, it's not about judging others and their choices. It's more about engaging in debate, bringing curiosity, understanding why someone would feel that way. You can have two people responding to the same artist where one of them would never look at their art again and the other one has no trouble with it. Pluralism requires that we coexist with different ways of being in the world, and this is one example of what we mean by that. In their reflection, Theo shared a very balanced perspective. They have closed the door on J.K. Rowling's work, but they won't judge your choice if you continue to appreciate the glories of Hogwarts. None of this is easy. We live in challenging times where we have so much information about everything and everyone. Stop, please, I can't take it anymore. We often feel like we know some of these artists and creative people. We feel a connection to them. And when we're exposed to information about their crimes, it can be destabilizing. So when a work of art is stained by the action of its maker, some of us can still appreciate it, some of us can't. It's our call. We could or we couldn't. But should we? Should we engage with stained work of art in ways that benefit the creator? Pay for a movie or music, or buy a book from someone who has harmed others? Again, we have to consider the act, the genius of the work, and whether the artist is continuing the harm or has repented for what they have done. For Theo, the boundary's clear. Do not buy art that results in harm. J.K. Rowling's anti-trans stance was particularly challenging because many of her fans were kids that fell outside the norm. They felt so at home in the communities that she created, and now that home has been stained, and worse. The money they spent on her books is being used against them. This is a clear line, a line that we can see and we know not to cross. Do not buy art from people whose work that is actively engaged in harming others. But it's not always that clear. We have to use our own moral compass as a guide. You know, UUs like to tell ourselves that we don't see things in black and white, that we're comfortable in the gray area. Well, welcome to the gray area, folks. It takes thought, it takes intention, it takes navigating with that moral compass. But you know, doing that, and why we do it, is because it helps us develop emotional maturity for the ups and downs of life. So that brings me to Marshall Gans, who worked so closely with Cesar Chavez. To him, Chavez was both a colleague, a mentor, and a brilliant, admired leader of a great movement. His feelings about learning about Chavez's abuse of women and young girls was doubly complicated because he knew the victims. I edited out a part of his letter where he apologized to the young women who were assaulted by Chavez, apologized for not seeing, for being caught up in the brilliance of the leader and missing the signs of the perpetrator. And yet, out of his own trauma, Gans has a clarity that we must not fall into this binary and determine that the actions of the man negate the great accomplishment of the movement. As he said in his letter, our challenge is not to choose between the good and the harm. Choose to hold them both unflinchingly. It is the only path that honors the full truth, including the truth of everyone whose lives were changed by the better, by what that movement built, and everyone whose trust, dignity, and humanity he betrayed. So here in Sacramento, within a day, they covered up the Cesar Chavez statue in the park that is named for him. I have to tell you, I was uncomfortable with that choice. It's like we just put it away, out of sight, out of mind. I would have preferred posting an explanation in front of the statue. Cesar Chavez was a great leader who motivated to take action for their own good and transform the lives of farm workers in California and beyond. And he was a flawed person who abused and hurt women and children. Both are true. To take down the statue, to cover it up, lets us off the hook of this work of holding these two things at the same time. We can learn and grow from wrestling with these people, with these issues, these stains. People who are flawed, people who do terrible things can make great beauty. We must learn to live in this dichotomy, learn to live in this gray area. We must learn to do the moral calculus and make choices that are best for ourselves and for others. And in community, in dialogue with each other, we can do this with compassion and understanding. May it be so.
Let's join together in singing This Boat. This boat is steady, this boat is sure. When you're ready, climb aboard. When you're ready, grab an oar. This boat will carry us to the farthest shore. We all know hardship, we all know pain, but nothing ventured means nothing gained. And every rainbow needs the rain. You're not alone, try again. This boat is steady, this boat is sure. When you're ready, climb aboard. When you're ready, grab an oar. This boat will carry us to the farthest shore. Even if you feel tempest-tossed, even if you feel that all is lost, you hear the thunder roar and look at heaven's door. When you're sinking like a stone, this boat will carry you home. This boat is steady, this boat is sure. When you're ready, grab an oar. When you're ready, grab an oar. This boat will carry us to the farthest shore. When you're ready, climb aboard. When you're ready, grab an oar. Carry us to the farthest shore. One more. This boat is steady. This boat is sure. When you're ready, climb aboard. When you're ready, grab an oar. This boat will carry us to the farthest shore. This boat will carry us to the farthest shore.
As we extinguish our flames before we light the chalice again for the congregational meeting, please join me in speaking our shared intention. May the power of this gathering light our way forward with courage. In the days to come, let us remember that fear is outworked by hope, and hatred is no match for the power of love.
Oh, let's reach out. Reach out to each other, reach out to our community at home, reach out to our world. You're in the right place. You are in the right place. This is a place of love and engagement. This is where we talk about the hard things, where we love each other, where we find ways to be the people that we want to be in this world. I am so grateful for all that you give and grateful for this beloved community. May we thrive. Blessed be.